I used to really love watching the old Battlefield 4 videos where YouTubers would take the most ridiculous loadouts from each class and try to be successful with them. Unfortunately, the way Battlefield 1 has been designed has made this very difficult to do, with each weapon having set variants and a specific purpose. However, there are still weapons that are judged to be the worst in each class, and that's what I'm going to look at in this video. I'll take it a bit further than just the primary weapon though, and put together a complete loadout like I did with the Assault class video that in my opinion is the worst possible for that particular class. This video will of course focus on the medic. So before I get into this, bear in mind that some of you might indeed like the loadout I'm about to use, and if so, I'm sorry for calling it rubbish. If you disagree with my opinion, as always, make sure you leave your reasons why in the comments below, and I'll be sure to have a discussion with you. There's nothing better than a discussion on a topic such as this that will of course divide opinion. The medic class in Battlefield 1 is designed a bit differently to previous Battlefield games. The idea is that you will support the assault players with weapons that are slightly better suited to range than the automaticos, the Hellregals and the shotguns, but also have the option to switch it up depending on the type of map you play. I for one think the medic class is the perfect mid-range class with most weapons capable of being accurate at this distance. However, as we all know, not that many people opt to run as medic in Battlefield 1. I think this is down to the fact that the other classes have weapons that are just more entertaining than the medic class, and although I am a big fan of the guns such as the autoloading 8.35, I'd sooner take an MP18 instead that would allow me to play more aggressively. Of course, this is a personal opinion. I love playing aggressive in Battlefield, I love getting into the action, and when my aim isn't really up to scratch, an automatic weapon definitely makes it easier for me. If you take a look at the amount of players that use the medic class on the PC version of the game, it looks like this. The PC kit rankings graph clearly shows the assault class is the most popular, with the other three sharing around 20%. This of course does change over time. I think the assault class jumps between 30 and 40% a lot, but it is clear that the assault class is the most popular. So let's get on to the weapons that I don't really like. Starting off with the Selbstlader M1916. The gun can be effective due to its magazine size, but the slow rate of fire and poor hipfire capabilities make it pretty much useless in most situations I personally find myself in. I want to be able to take out players with speed and precision, not stand there and get melted because my gun just isn't up to the task. Even though I'm not a fan of this gun, the amount of players that use it on PC is actually quite a lot, and I've done a bit of research that shows it is one of the most popular weapons in the class behind the Mondragon, autoloading 8.25 factory and M1907 sweeper. The least played weapon in the medic class by quite some way, according to stats that I've found on a website that I'll link in the description, is pretty much a tie between the M1907 SL factory variant and the Selbstlader 1906 sniper. Oh dear. Now you have to also realise that some of these weapons are pretty hard to unlock, namely the 1906 sniper variant, so the numbers I'm providing aren't exactly accurate in terms of the weapon's actual popularity. Some players just might not have it unlocked yet. The M1907 factory is easy to unlock however, and as all the other M1907 SL variants are better in my opinion, it has to be one of the worst guns available to the medic. The sweeper is far better for hip firing in my opinion, and although I don't do a lot of that during this gameplay, my guess is that you're taking the sweeper if you want to be involved in close range engagements. The trench is the best of the three variants for really close range stuff, and again I'd be using that ahead of the factory. The final weapon in the medic class that I think is a bit rubbish is the Mondragon Optical. Its long reload, lack of rounds, low stability and low rate of fire make it a real pain to use, and for me I'd much sooner use the autoloading 8.35 variants, or even the other two Mondragon variants. So to conclude, we have four contenders. The Selbstlader M1916, the M1907 factory, the Selbstlader 1906 sniper, and the Mondragon Optical. We'll cross the 1906 sniper off the list because hardly anyone has unlocked it or used it, so I think it's a little bit difficult to write that one off as an unpopular and rubbish weapon. Out of the three we have remaining, personally I'd say the M1907 factory is the worst. From an overall standpoint though, looking at it from different gameplay perspectives, as of course I have my own personal playstyle which doesn't really relate to using the medic weapons in really the way they should be used, the M1916 is probably the worst overall. This is due to its extremely low rate of fire, and as a helpful comment on my previous loadout video stated, it can be outdone by every other SLR in terms of time to kill. To complete the loadout we need to add a few more parts including a sidearm and gadgets. Let's start with the gadgets in the medic class. I feel as if the medic 100% has to have a bandage pouch and medical syringe. Without those two, you aren't really utilising the most important part of the class itself. As we are trying to create the worst loadout, I have therefore chosen to use a smoke grenade launcher because of all the other options you have in that class. The smoke launcher is probably the worst. For grenades, I went with a mini grenade with the thought that it won't get as many kills as the other nades, and for a sidearm I went with a colibri, and then as a melee weapon I went with my trusty shovel. The worst part about these gadgets is the fact that I'm running around asking other medics for help even though I'm playing medic myself. I for one have actually bumped into medics before that don't take the necessary medical supplies, and I've got a bit of a problem with the fact there are actually rifle grenades available to medic players. Why not limit the class to purely reviving and medding and add options to the way you do that? Have a syringe that meds quicker but only has 1 or 2 shots before a cooldown, and maybe a different one that can revive more people but takes slightly longer to revive. I'm not exactly sure how to approach it, but in my opinion having a medic in your team that can't actually heal players is pretty stupid. A thing to take away from this loadout as well is the problem that comes with any class. What's your actual objective? For me, the medic is capable of a lot of things, and as with the assault class video I made a few weeks ago, the weapon you choose has a big impact on what you're able to achieve. Some players watching this video might completely disagree with what I'm saying about the bad weapons, and that is perfectly fine. You might have a completely different playstyle to me and can make the guns work, but as I only have my own playstyle to go by, trust me, I've done my best to attempt a lot of different playstyles whilst recording the footage for this video. There is not much more I can do. It's also worth noting that in Battlefield 1 there are no bad weapons as there were in BF4. In BF4 you could really kit out a gun with the most ridiculous attachments, creating a monster that would not be fit for any purpose, whilst in Battlefield 1 the game limits you. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below. Let me know what your worst medic weapon is, and in fact the worst medic loadout overall, and I'll catch you in the next video.